Lotus and half lotus. Now, this can be a challenging posture for those who have hips, knees, ankle, or foot issue. So you want to be mindful of the options that you give. Leading up to this, everything we've done, as stretching your faith is, and these lessons is progressive. So you could do simple seated and then come into lotus or half lotus. So half lotus is bringing the foot into the hip socket. So that's lotus. Now you can certainly give our previous lesson of fire log or double pigeon as an option. Now, another great option is to, you'll learn this really soon, in staff pose, both legs extended as staff. Bringing one foot either just to the knee is a great option, and then working the way up into the hip. Now we've got small, medium, and large, so we can assist the knee. We can also use the strap. And, we can do any of these postures in a chair as well. So this is a great option for half lotus. And then being mindful of this knee as you exhale, using that exhale to let the knee sink down. Just a gentle, not ever forcing the joint for half lotus. So you want to make sure that you practice whatever version of half lotus on both sides, especially when you're moving in to lotus. I have this nice little loop around my strap already. So again, just whatever option that you choose, we're warming up the hips and coming into maybe full lotus and maybe not. We're just trying. So full lotus can be very challenging. It's where you have both feet into the hip socket. You can actually use the strap for one or both of the feet, finding that tall spine once you achieve whichever is there. So again, we have all of those sequences of a forward fold, I love adding the arms because it brings the spine back to neutral. And maybe you do something fancy with the legs or a heart opener. Everything is slow and mindful and gentle. And you'll see in advanced of the bound, which again, if I was using a strap and training my muscles, I could come into a bound twist. I also try to omit the word bound. I know you can't just tell, but I try to replace it with clasp. Pose and bound are words you won't see in the next edition of Stretching Your Faith. That is very challenging. There's a lot of postures that have both of those words in the posture. So I hope you love lotus or half lotus. It feels really good. Thinking of counter forms, we just did some really intense hip stuff. So think, what would you do to release the hips? Windshield wipering is a really great hip release. And you can come all the way down to your back and do that. So I really love lotus. I tend to sit in it a lot. Half lotus, typically, if I'm in a classroom or something, is very comfortable for me. But full lotus can be very challenging for a lot of people. So just being mindful of your warm-up forms and, of course, your counter forms.